Thank you, Paisha. Yes, this is Wild Turtle. Congratulations on your victory. Now, you guys, the first thing that jumps out in the mind is TSM as a team. You guys seem to be playing a lot better. Have you been focusing on communication a lot over the break? What was it like?
Yeah, I think we actually improved a lot over the break. We had a lot of problems going into the break too, and I think we just kind of fixed most of our communication problems, and we're trying to play a lot smarter on the game, and I think it's really working out for us.
It definitely looks to be so far. How do you feel about the AD carry set right now? Because a lot of people were complaining, I don't like lethality AD carries, oh, I don't like utility AD carries. To me, you've always been this guy, especially in solo queue, not only AD carries, but you play different roles, you play pretty much all champions. What's your take on the AD carry champion set overall?
I do agree that AD carries in solo queue seem pretty subpar, but I also think that's like because everyone in solo queue has a mentality that they want to carry, so no one really helps your AD carry get into a position to carry the game. So basically, AD carries is really good and competitive still, I believe, and they just kind of lackluster in solo queue.
Well, next, actually just tomorrow, you guys are going to play Dignitas, your next upcoming match. How are you feeling about that matchup, and what is your prediction?
I think Dignitas has been improving a lot recently, and I definitely don't think we're going to underestimate them, but I do think we're going to go 2-1.
All right, well, good luck there, Turtle. We are actually going to send you guys now over to the game that is in progress on LCS 2.
Well in the jungle, even though he got caught out that time, still looked like a pretty clean game from them.
I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to NALCS 1 and all its viewers that are now going to be joining us for game number 2 in this match. Since I'm assuming a lot of you probably didn't have both streams open at once, even though I'm sure some of you do, some of you crazy NALCS fans out there that just can't get enough competition. But for the ones who did miss game number 1, Phoenix 1 was able to find the win in that first one. It was a little shaky there in the mid game for a few moments, but they managed to come back, take a solid victory over Dignitas.
Kled was a big part of that too. Maybe we'll see it again, because right now Phoenix 1 are kind of developing a pocket pick for themselves in the Kled in top lane for Zig. Nobody else is playing it. It's very hard to get practice against when you're scrimming because they're the only ones that play it. And then also you have Meteos in the jungle on the Olaf. They're banning that away from him because it's definitely his, by far and away, most successful champion that he's had so far in this split as a sub.
Yeah, those Olaf bans are doing a lot of work. We saw them work out yesterday for CLG. We're seeing them, they're effective, obviously, but they didn't shut down Meteos today.
Yeah, and he didn't get shut down, but on the other hand, Chaser looked a little bit hesitant to actually pull the trigger on a lot of different plays, whether it was a kickback or even the execution of the top lane play. Didn't actually blow his flash at all during that play. And I think that that was something that I know I praised him a bit coming into this week because he was creative with his jungle routes, but then it just seemed like he disappeared. And Ades was talking about Dignitas being a reactive team. I think a lot of that needs to change from Chaser stepping up and being more proactive and causing the team to follow with him.
Especially on a champion, like Lee Sin, one that has got to go in there, make those mechanically precise plays, and be confident in his ability to do so. That's what you want to see from somebody, is being able to know exactly what your limits are and pushing those.
Yeah, in the mid game, late game, Lee Sin is kind of like what I would consider a pawn in chess. If you can get a really good piece for your pawn, you're just like, golden. You're like, that was my job, right? You start off as being something that can cause a lot of pressure, but then you change it to
you're the pawn at the start. You can do everything.
You're like, oh God, everybody has to worry about me. I could be anywhere. I have so much threat. And then he's a pawn, and it's like, oh, got your rook. Like, kick back the mid lane.
Still a value trade. Still a value trade. I jumped into the back and died, but so did your guy who's way more important than me.
Yeah.
That's kind of the job. But the bans this time around, Dignitas is going to be removing that Olaf first and foremost yet again, with Varus and LeBlanc following that one up. Graves and Malzahar, again, the same first 2 bans from Phoenix 1. We'll have to see if they finish off with the last one in the same style as game number 1, or if they want to switch things up here a little bit in game number 2. Elise is going to be banned away. They picked it last time, but they don't want Dig taking it this time around.
Yeah, it's also a comfort champion for Chaser as well. And then, like you said, they first picked it both as denial pick and to have it for themselves and have comfort for Meteos. But now, still on the table, the Rise up there, Jhin, Jace, Renekton.
Some days thinking about that Jace.
Camille.
I mean, Ryu did a lot of work on this last time around, so you might as well keep that out of his hands. Grab it for yourselves, too, as the Fizz Hover comes in from Zig. It's a bit of an unusual pick in its own, but We've already gone through a series today, Zyrene, where we saw Mordekaiser and Blitzcrank not just in the same series, but in the same game. So I'm just completely open to anything at this point in time.
Yeah, it's a great bottom lane. They both take relic shields, give each other CS back and forth, and you hook somebody, you have extra movement speed towards your guy. So it's honestly a great combination and makes it a kill lane early.
Do you remember the days when that item first came out and it was really busted and people just quit playing jungle and played double melee top laners with relic shields?
That was BS, dude.
That was a weird time in League of Legends history. I had no idea what was going on, but Phoenix One going to go ahead and start off this first phase of their own draft by locking in the Ashe and picking up the Rengar for Meteos.
Yeah, NA